Greetings to my friends and neighbors, my fellow Americans and world citizens. Thank you for being here today to help raise our collective voice in solidarity with each other and hundreds of events across the country on behalf of dignity, decency, and democracy. Thank you to the team of volunteers who organized this event. Y'all are amazing. I want to respectfully state that the American flags that fly over Yavapai County today are also flying over the ancestral lands of the Yavapai indigenous tribes who have been here a lot longer than Old Glory. I noticed some of our conservative neighbors are exercising their First Amendment rights here today as well. My message to them is quite simple. It is this: you have far more in common with us than you do with the bad faith billionaires who are lying to you in their attempts to divide us. We drive on the same streets, shop in the same stores, eat at the same restaurants, and hike on the same trails. We gather on this same courthouse plaza under the same flag. We are governed from the same city hall and state house. Our water comes from the same source. We love our community and country as passionately as you, which makes us your neighbors, not your enemies. And no amount of right-wing echo chamber talking points are going to change that. Here in Yavapai County, modeling our values is how we build community around the diverse, equitable, and inclusive world we aspire to. We are here to set an example by making room in our communities for the vast majority of fellow travelers committed to common humanity and a more peaceful, prosperous existence for our children and grandchildren. Sadly, we face in these times a selfish, abusive demagogue in the White House. With contempt for the Constitution, he, along with his malevolent enablers, act as vampires determined to suck the dignity, decency, and democracy from our society, dividing us in service of their own insatiable greed. Shallow showmanship, abject cruelty, and constant caustic trolling have replaced character, substance, and meaningful dialogue. As vampires do, they operate in the darkness of corruption and are repelled by the light of truth. It was Dr. King who said that darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. The great American poet Maya Angelou proclaimed, "Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, I rise." They're right. Vampires have nothing on you who rise up and let your light shine. Now let's be real. We live in complex times and are together forever bound to our complex history. To many, the symbol of the American flag represents freedom. But we must acknowledge that to many it has and does represent degrees of oppression. It's hard to hear, I know. But we must recognize that, be it to a symbol, a belief system, an ideology, or a man, blind allegiance is a debilitating weakness. We must understand that true strength does not come from bullying behavior or performative parades featuring weapons of war. True strength is instead the result of we the people determined to be honest about our history and resolved to learn from mistakes of the past, to continue reaching for the ideals of a more perfect union as laid out by the Founding Fathers. Now, it was the summer in 1936 when a young black man from Alabama found himself in the very heart of Nazi Germany. At those Berlin Olympic Games, the athletic prowess of Jesse Owens emphatically refuted the perverse and hateful ideologies of the fascists. After winning each of 4 gold medals, the American flag was raised to the top of the tallest pole, representing the best of who we are. But after the games, Mr. Owens headed back to a segregated homeland, plagued by the same white supremacist grip consuming Europe. Although Jesse Owens' actions didn't stop World War II or end segregation, they shifted American consciousness until Jackie Robinson desegregated America's pastime in 47 and the U.S. Army desegregated in 48. These men set the stage for the leaders of the civil rights movement, whose collective action we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude. As well, we owe gratitude to the sacrifices of those who came before us in the lineage of movements of the people, of which we are now a part. Make no mistake, if you work for a living, you are the beneficiary of the labor movement. If you are a man, you are the beneficiary of the suffrage movement. If you are straight, you are the beneficiary of the gay rights movement. And if you are white, you are the beneficiary of the civil rights movement. Yes, you are. Yes. Each of these movements was born from the depths of injustice, and yet they offer us vivid examples of striving for the best we can be when we prioritize equity and justice for all. We share a proud history of powerful movements of the people that have been revolutionary in shifting consciousness in profound ways that contribute to the well-being of the generations alive today. So, now our descendants are counting on us to have the courage to meet this moment in history. Now is the time for us to see that the revolution, the true revolution, is a non-violent revolution focused on an evolution of consciousness that transcends politics. How we treat each other matters. How we show up in our community matters. And so I'd like to leave you empowered today with a reminder from right here on the front lines of the nonviolent revolution. In every moment, gratitude. Forget the farce and platitudes. Align instead your attitude to all vibrations positive. Rejecting fear and pledge to live a life whose wealth is what you give. A heart whose health imperative. May wisdom guide the narrative through this present lucid dreaming, the universe not so gently screaming, appreciation, consideration, empathy, and compassion. These are the things you do not have to ration. Transcendent egos called to action. The law of love is gaining traction. Heed the call, O mortal conduit. Feel the flow and know to roll with it. Feed the soul, let go the bullshit. Cut those ties and recognize the lies. The illusion of separateness is but a disguise. When you see through that what's true has been defaced, negativity displaced, the need for violence erased. And when there is space to ponder grace, yourself reflected in another one's face. Yourself reflected in another one's face, the place to embrace simultaneously, to agree to see common humanity, to share the same air and dare greatly, inspired by the mystery. Beyond him or her or them or me. In order to be free, we already hold the key. applying awareness on the conscious frontier with a deep understanding that love is greater than fear. Empowering voices and subsequent choices, this guidance is strident and abundantly clear. With no reservations, this revelation's a distinguished creation of reciprocation. Shout it out. I'll say it to every nation. Your behavior is your best illustration. By being the light in the night of unknowing, with hope as the scope of consciousness glowing, harvesting love from the seeds that we sow, nonviolent revolution continues to grow. Nonviolent revolution continues to grow. Nonviolent revolution continues to grow.